Hello friends, welcome to ASP.NET tutorial. In the last video, we talked about the ViewState, right? So now we will manage the state of the custom control by making use of the ViewState property. And in this video, we will implement the ViewState to persist the user input between the postback. So that means user will enter text here, right? And they will click on add this line. The line will be entered and response comes back. The content will be displayed here. When user enters the second line of text and clicks add this line, the request goes to the server, and server will know the content of the already existing text by making use of the ViewState and add the new line of text that is coming as part of this second request. Then it will perform the rendering on both the lines. That way, in the third request, it knows there are 3 lines of text and it renders all 3. So that's what we are going to do now. Now we will save line of text in a ViewState and render it. Let's go to the demo. So here is our project, and we need to change the num highlighter control. So we will open the project here. So our control is already rendering the user input line of text, right? So when user places the text, that will get stored in the text property. Then from text property, we are splitting the weights and giving that to the render weights. Render weight will check whether the weight is a number. If it is a number, then it will highlight that with a red font, right? Now we want to persist the information between the user session. Before that, we will run this sample. Okay, we can't run directly the control. We should go to the web form and we will run it now. Right? So if you see, this is the existing ASP.NET control. When response came back, it remembers the previously entered text here in the text box, right? And our custom control also renders the text. Now what we will do, we will put one more text. If you see, it doesn't remember the previously entered text, right? We have second line of text, right? Our control doesn't remember the previously entered text, and now we will make use of the ViewState and remember the previously entered text and render text with the previous inputs as well. So for that, what we will do, we will go here, and this is our control, right? This is the text property. After the text property, since we are going to use collection, we have to include that namespace. First we will include the collection namespace. Then inside our web control project, Now inside our num highlighter class, we will declare a array list and we will call that as a line of text. Now let's revisit the text property. Here if you see, this is the text property. Here we are not going to touch the get portion of the text. When we are setting the line of text, we need to store the text content inside an array. So the server is managing the array list, right? Now what we will do, store the previous lines in the controls view state, right? So read controls view state. First, when we are reading this view state for the first time, it will not be having any value in it. Of course, the view state will store any object, right? View state, we know that view state is a dictionary, and to this dictionary we are giving the key text line of text, right? So we haven't stored anything at this line of text at this moment. So we know that line of text is null for the first time. So when it is null, we create the array list for this line of text, right? For the first time, very first time, you are entering the text and clicking the button. When control transfers here to our custom control, the view state is not yet initialized for this line of text. So that's why what we are doing, we are just querying the view state and typecasting it as array list. When line of text is null, we will create the line of text, which is an array list. After that, to this line of text, we add the same value here, right? So next we store the line of text. We know that that's an array list to the view state. So this is how we are doing. Now let's check this flow in two states. In the first state, the user is entering the content in the text box and they are clicking the add this line button. When it comes for the very first time, the value will hold user entered text, right? So we are using the view state of text and storing that value. Here if you see, the same way we are using the view state of, instead of text, this time we are using line of text, right? Since it is the first time, line of text will be null. We are creating the array list, right? After creating the line of text, we are adding the content entered by the user. Then we are giving that array list to the line of text. Now let's go to the second state. Second state is post back state. So let's state that the content is rendered to the user. User is again clicking the line of text button. So this time when you ask for view state, it will retrieve the previously added line of text that contains one line of text in it, right? That's an array list, right? So we have line of text valid now. We won't create new array list. The array list is retrieved from the view state, right? That contains previously entered text. Now we are adding the line of text with the new value. That means the second line of text, right? After that, we are adding the line of text to the view state. Now this time view state contains the array list. Now this time view state contains the array list with two entries. All right, so that's about the text property. So in the render content, we need to make modification, right? At present, it is dealing with the single line of text, right? It makes use of the text property and performing the render wait. Now we have to make a change on this render content. First, we are checking the line of text array, right? We know that it's our array list, and when it is null, we are returning it. Next, we are forming the for each loop, right? Line of text, we know it was stored in the ViewState line of text, and we know that line of text is an array, right? Here in the very first line itself, we take the line of text from the ViewState. So now line of text contains multiple number of lines, right? So we are iterating through it using the for each, and we will be having the single line of text in this for each loop, right? In each iteration we will get one line, and we are passing that to our render weights. So this is the existing code. Previously we split the text property, right? This time, instead of using the text, we have to use the line, right? In each iteration we will get line dot split. We will be getting the weight, then we are making use of our render weights. That's the existing functionality. It will take care of highlighting the number. Now this is the for each, right? Once the for each ends, we need to add a line break. So if you see the output from the HTML text writer, we are using the same output, and this time we are adding the plain HTML line break. So that's all the code change required here. Now we will rebuild the solution. And we will run our client project. Testing one line. So that shows testing one line, and this time I'm using testing two line, and you can see how it is working. So now our custom control remembers the input from the previous session, and using ViewState and array list, it remembers the content, and when it is rendering the content which was posted by the user in the previous session as well as a current session, right? I mean all previous session and the current session. Right, that's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.